see how long before this music gets annoying. I put circus as the keyword. Results so far are mixed. We've already lost a couple people before I even turned the switch the camera. So maybe the music is why. Who do we have though? One second. Let's hydrate right off the bat. And we'll stop hydrating because something floating in the water there. That's gross. Hey, Billy. So we're drawing a clown today. This is for the character design challenge. I forget what the exact wording is. It's clown something or other. So I thought, okay, I'll do it, but I'll do it like a kind of horrifying clown. So it can still in keep with our Halloween vibes. Hey, we got our lost 2 viewers back, so maybe they warmed up to the music. I don't know. But hello, all. Let's draw a scary clown. I know exactly what I want. Well, okay, actually, I can take that back. I'm gonna make up some of the design choices as I go. But for the pose and the anatomy, I kind of know exactly what I want. But it might be a tough one. It might take a couple passes to get this nailed down here. Oh, fighting clowns, that's what it was. Okay, well this will still apply. Has anybody ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space? I have not seen it, but I've always wanted to. I'm pretty sure I know somebody that did a Killer Clowns costume for Halloween one year. I didn't see in person, but I think somebody that I worked with one time on a gig, and I have on social media, Kyla. I feel like she posted pictures of herself in a Killer Clowns costume one time. That was pretty impressive. But I might not be. I might be remembering that wrong. I don't know. Pulling that crotch a little too far forward for my intended plans here. I think I was going a little bit too accurate, actually, is what the issue is. What do we think? Killer Clown's good? I won't ask if it's worth watching, because I want to watch it ultimately, no matter what you say about it, quite honestly. You know, it's just one of those ones that's cult classic. So much cheese. I would assume. Unless you mean literal cheese, in which case I wasn't expecting that. When I was asking favorite horror movies in class a while ago, I think somebody actually brought up Killer Clowns. I don't know if it was actually their favorite or just one that they thought of. The conversation usually starts with favorites and then just moves on to memorable ones or particularly scary ones. Is in fact going to be on a unicycle, which is kind of the reason I thought this might be a tough pose to quite nail down. Also, I wanted to give him really tiny legs, and I feel like I haven't exaggerated the tininess of those legs enough. So I think I'm gonna beef that up. I'm also gonna beef up these shoulders, so you give him like a really big upper body. I'm thinking human, but not very human proportions. That's kind of what I'm going for here tonight. Finished the Friday the 13th movies last night, by the way. Ending off with Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Freddy vs. Jason. Technically, I should have saved Jason X for the last, because chronologically, in terms of story, it takes place after. But I went for release order. Next time I do a rewatch, I might go chronological order. We'll see. The Necronomicon, by the way, Billy, is very prevalent. Cannot miss it. Got a close-up and everything. Main character picks it up even. Here's the weird thing about it, though, because I was reading a little bit about it afterwards. So in number 2, part 2, where Jason becomes the killer, they kind of establish early on that, like, they're kind of saying, well, what if Jason didn't drown in the lake when he was a kid? What if he actually crawled out of the lake? What if he survived and then grew up kind of alone in the forest, kind of living off of like bugs and shit, and then witnessed his mom get murdered? What if that is what happened? And they make several comments like, because if he lived, he'd be grown by now, and all this kind of stuff, right? And I guess they never technically confirm if that's actually what happened, but the fact that Jason is alive and kicking and killing people stands to reason that their guess was accurate, right? So so apparently the guy that wrote and directed Jason Goes to Hell, his whole idea with the Necronomicon was to imply that his mom summoned some demons, they possessed Jason, turned him into a deadite, and that's why he's like undead and he said that was the only way that he could wrap his head around how this kid would have lived. Or how he went from being a kid living under a lake to being this full-grown adult. And I was like, well, but they fucking explained it. It was there. Hello, JC. Creepy clown. Yeah, I guess. But I like the idea of him being a deadite anyway as an explanation for how he keeps cheating death and all that stuff. Like, I think it's a cool idea anyway, but I just, like, you don't need it for that purpose. And it kind of feeds into the really weird ending that Jason Takes Manhattan has. Just I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, actually, I think I get it. I think they didn't get it. I think that's the... Thoughts on Friday the 13th, JC? Go. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm not sold on these arms yet. See, you're going for very simian-like proportions. but still thinking human. Okay. I actually think the 2009 remake is underrated, honestly. It got a lot of flack. I feel like if you're not a Friday fan, then it's not for you, obviously. And if you are a Friday fan, then you should be knowing exactly what you're getting. But I think a lot of people were all snooty about, oh, not the original. And it's true. Like, you can never be the original a second time, but still. Okay. I think that is so much better than it has any right to be. Freddy vs. Jason is actually super fun. That's what I need to do. I think get it more out like this, and then have the blade going. Well, struggling with what I want in terms of silhouette. Do I want the silhouette to go that way, or do I want it to go that way? Jason Goes to Hell is a weird one too, by the way, because it actually involves Jason's spirit possessing multiple people. So as a physical entity, Jason's actually barely in the movie. But apparently the whole reason the movie exists is they were trying to do Freddy vs. Jason even back then, in the early 90s. And that's how New Line ended up with the rights to the character, Jason, because he was owned by okay, you know what? I just realized I just solved my posing issue. I know what I'm gonna do. So they got the rights to him, but you know they were struggling deciding on what they wanted to do with Freddy vs. Jason and all this behind the scenes drama and stuff. So to take advantage of the fact that they now had the rights and to try to keep Jason alive in people's consciousness, they made for Jason Goes to Hell. I can't help but think of some of those plot choices were made in an attempt to sort of somewhat set up Freddy vs. Jason, because it does kind of pick up where that one left off, and it kind of makes a little bit more sense almost. Something like that, maybe. Jason Goes to Hell, you mean? Or Freddy vs. Jason? Because I liked it as well. It's very different from the others. Okay, now I think I want to change the head a little bit. I think I'm going to do less of a neck. Head kind of in on the shoulders a bit more. Or sunken into the shoulders a bit more, I should say. Ah. Trying to decide. Do I like the pose? Do I like the pose? Do I not like the pose? How am I feeling about this pose? Really scrawny, bony legs. Yeah, I think I can make this work, I guess. Let's see what we end up with. Yeah, I was kind of going for deliberately very simian-like proportions. The intention was still human, but ape-like. Although, I don't know, it's like a hairless ape, I guess. I'm wearing a Joker t-shirt tonight, but that's actually just a coincidence. Funnily enough. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give him a... I don't know what I was thinking. What kind of clown am I drawing here? Gotta have the big red nose. No worries, no worries. I'll let it go this time. Anybody see the horror movie Clown? I really wanted to see that when it came out, and I forgot all about it until just this moment. Thick, whatever these things are called. Hey, Parker. No. Not this one. Oh, the movie? I thought you were talking about something else called Bro Clown. I was like, I haven't heard of this one. Yeah, I think I heard it was pretty good. But yeah, what Parker's talking about is I am thinking to finally pull the plug on getting a tattoo. I've had a design in mind for a while, and it was suggested to me by AJ actually. One or two of you know who AJ is. To draw it and like leave it somewhere where I'll see it every day, make sure I still like it in like 6 months or a year. So I did that, and then I was like, yeah, I still like it. Let's do this. But then COVID stuff happened, and I was watching my money a lot more and stuff. And so it kind of didn't happen for a long time. But I'm thinking about maybe finally doing it. But I gotta get some pricing. I mean, that might change my mind. Do you know who Gossamer is, JC, from the Looney Tunes? It's my redesign of Gossamer. A little bit more on the horror side, but still kind of cartoony. Most people don't, to be honest. And sometimes has no arms, but sometimes does, but always has the sneakers. My version has the arms, and the claws, and the sneakers. Trying to decide exactly what I want a shirt to be here. I think either way, I'm gonna make it kind of a short shirt. You can see some belly button there. Yeah, you know what? Let's make it almost like he's wearing like a wife beater. I think I'm gonna change these arms again. I think I want them to. I think I want more of a scooping kind of thing going on here. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I think that's more what I had in mind originally, and then it kind of just got away from me when I actually was drawing it. Did it censor Looney on you, Parker? What the hell? Parker's got some tattoos. Anybody else watching got any tattoos? Or you want to tell everyone about your tattoos? Parker has Polly Pocket covering his entire back. I gotta figure out why the hell it's censoring him, especially Looney of all things. Anybody watching Afraid of Clowns? Welcome, welcome. I mean, I was always more of a Mighty Max guy myself, but I have a strong respect for Polly. I think Polly came first, actually. Good research question for anyone who's feeling it. I think first came Polly Pocket, and then came Mighty Max. And one of the rare reversals where normally it's like they think of the boys first, and they're like, oh, I guess the girls need something. So then you get She-Ra in response to He-Man. But I think Polly beat, could be wrong, but I think Polly beat Mighty Max to the punch. Struggling to find words there, if you couldn't tell. Haha! Did Polly have her own cartoon, though? Max might have still coming on top on that one. Mighty Max show was actually pretty fun, but it was also, in hindsight, you could see how much it was like them kind of retrofitting elements from this toy that had no story in mind. Pretty good writing challenge that they lived up to. Alright, let's ink it. Okay, sounds good, JC. Textured like this because it's made out of that foam shit? Or is it an actual nose that's super rough because he drinks too much? Who knows? I would say stay tuned to find out, but I have no answers for it. Oh, much more recent than I realized. 2018. Wow. Why do you say out of context, though, Parker? Do you mean like you have to watch a random episode? Oh, hey, Letitia. You drink too much? Okay, so we have an answer. Letitia has spoken. Oop, oop. Wait. Our breath right there. Oh, okay. So literally very much out of context. Okay. Is that actually the name of the channel? Barbie Out of Context? Just one video. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what I was referring to. That's because they looked at the toy and they're like, well, he's got a hat. Maybe it's magic. Okay, let's make it a magic hat. But it was kind of a fun show. It had a very like Indiana Jonesy vibe to it. And he had like this kind of Yoda-like character that was an owl. And then another guy, I don't remember what his name is, but he was like some warrior dude. And he was just like this just massive hulking guy with this big metal shoulder pad, I remember. I think it was like his mom was like a journalist or something. Like she had some reason to be traveling all over the world. So then he would travel with her. And then it would just happen to coincide with stuff they had to do. I remember the bad guy was very Skeletor-like, but was kind of a cool character. I learned what bone marrow was because of that show. Because he was like Max, I will suck the marrow from your bones. I feel like wouldn't fly in a kid show today, but. 90s is the era of grunge, so everything was dark and gritty and shit. Even kid stuff. Mr. Rogers was a vigilante for a while, I think, during that time. A little haggard around the eyes. What is the term for fear of clowns again? Apparently Tim Burton's afraid of clowns, and that's why clowns appear in his stuff so much. As a way of facing his fears. Okay, I don't love all the music we're hearing tonight, but thematically speaking, it's probably one of the most accurate playlists we've ever had for one of these. It is consistently clown-like. Huh. Cauldrophobia. That sounds more like a phobia of cauldrons, but I believe you, Parker. I wonder if Tim Curry had a hard time looking at himself in the mirror while he was dressed as Pennywise. So do we have any cauldrophobics with us today? That would make sense. It'd be weird if he could. Unless that was his way of facing the fears, just like Tim. Tim Burton has a whole like circus fetish going on. Joker, obviously, clown. And then even his second Batman movie that didn't have the Joker still had clowns and circus stuff. Justified well in the story, but still. Pee-wee's Big Adventure had clowns. When Beetlejuice finally gets set free, he does it with a clown motif, or a circus motif. Big Fish had a major clown, or a circus thing going on. I can't remember if I said this the other day, but I think the reason I'm still coughing so much is because of the air quality lately. I think it's messed with me. It took me a while to catch on, but I think that's what it is. It was almost gone and then it came back. Parker, on Tuesday I was asking favorite scary movies, and you weren't here, but it would probably be one of the Nightmare movies, am I right? And what about you, Leticia? You have a favorite scary movie? I know I asked in class, but I don't remember if you had an answer. That was a couple terms ago, too. Fair enough. Nightmare on Oak Street. Okay, what about a movie that you didn't have to like it, but do you have one that like traumatized you? That's usually my backup question when people don't have a favorite horror movie. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a horror movie, because sometimes non-horror movies can scare you. Oh, really? I don't actually know if I realized that you left. It's Stickman and it's so cartoony. I never think to give a gore warning on that one. Sorry if that traumatized you. Oh, wait a minute. I think I do remember we talked about, was it Saw, Leticia? But it was like Game of Death or something in Portuguese. I think I remember this conversation in class, actually. I thought if they were gonna do a remake, though, I thought at the very least, what's his face? was a good Freddy Krueger. But I agree with the movie. Here's the thing: I didn't love the movie, but I kind of want to watch it again because when I did see it, I didn't remember, or maybe I hadn't even seen the original one at that point, so I didn't have that comparison that everybody had. And I don't remember thinking it was particularly good, but I don't think I had the same hatred that a lot of people did. So I've been kind of curious to rewatch it since I got all caught up on the Elm Street movies. I know you have the sweater, Parker. Have you ever gone as Freddy for Halloween? Okay, right. Oh, nice. The most graphic one I ever was just a zombie, and I had all this, just put blood all over my face. The music seems to have died. Wow, okay. Let's just do... see how this goes. So the circus stuff was thematically appropriate, but not very long. Now I gotta find the thing. There we go. So hopefully keep the creepy Halloweeny vibes going. So Saw makes sense as a title for the first movie in the series, but I actually think Game of Death or whatever it was maybe actually makes more sense as a franchise. Because I know there's like, the killer's name is Jigsaw, but he's not referring to a saw. The title is referring to the literal saw in the room that the guy has to use to cut off his foot. I was gonna say, I don't know if I remember that or not, but I don't think I've seen Saw 4. Deadly Games, okay. I haven't watched... I've seen all the Resident Evil movies, but I haven't watched any of them since they were new. I don't think. I think they get kind of a bad rap because I think they're fine, entertaining enough horror, sci-fi, action movies, but they get kind of a bad rap because everyone compares them to the games, and they're nothing like the games. And I heard the new show on Netflix was pretty decent, but like Netflix canceled it pretty much immediately, I think. Let me know if this music's stressing anybody out, by the way. Trying to keep the vibe going, but I don't want to freak anybody out. I mean, that might be true. I talked to a lot of people that saw it, so I can't really say what the popular thing is. But I heard from at least one friend, maybe even actually I guess two friends, I think, said that they liked it. Although now that you say that, okay, I sort of feel like someone in class said it was decent as well, but somebody else might have said it sucked. I can't remember. Now I'm second guessing myself. Yeah, and that's always the thing too. The outspoken doesn't necessarily represent the majority. They just appear like the majority. Thank you, Stanton Dancer. It's creepy enough. My dad thought he was watching a documentary when he watched that, and I walked in on him watching it, and then kind of spoiled it for him. When I'm like, you know, that's a movie, right? Like, it's scripted. And he was like, oh. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Outhouse Cartoons. What kind of art do you like to do, Stanton Dancer? Or there's also the Discord too. There's the Outhouse Cartoons Discord, mentioned in the About Me bio or whatever the hell. Well, realism isn't necessarily my thing. Or maybe that's why I caught your attention, because it's something a bit different. I tend to lean a little stylized and cartoony. Animator, cartoonist, comic book artist. Comes to the territory. Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, largely self-taught, I guess you could say, because I've been drawing since I was like 3. But I also, and then like, you know, art classes and stuff here and there growing up in high school. My high school had the art IB program and stuff. But I also went to school for animation. And I went to a school that no longer exists called the Center for Digital Imaging and Sound, which was bought by the Art Institute the day of my orientation. So all my paperwork says Art Institute, but I didn't technically do an Art Institute education, but this song is actually kind of circusy too. I'm getting kind of a creepy circus vibe from this. Thanks for the plug, Billy. Oh, you're drawing a clown right now too. I missed that earlier. A realistic clown. Is it also a creepy clown? Are you also doing it for the character design challenge? That's what prompted me to do it. Sounds good, Leticia. Have a good one. And I'll see you next week. Farmer clown, okay. Ooh, nice. That's to the Ash comment. They apparently were gonna do. Apparently, they were actually in legit negotiations. I looked this up. I think I mentioned it on Tuesday, but I wasn't sure if they were actually ever serious about it or not. Apparently, legit development was being done on Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, and it never happened. And I thought that might be a fun stream theme to do sometime. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that. Well, I won't be able to look too easily while I'm here on... Well, actually, you know what? Hang on. I'll take a quick glance. I won't be able to share, unfortunately, on the screen. Okay. So I see what you mean. So you yourself are going more, a little bit more sub-realism, or at least to start with. And what are you, is drawing a hobby, or something you want to actually pursue, or? Okay. What is the name of the one that it's inspired by? Okay. Are you in school, Stand Dancer? Okay. Well, I'm encouraging of anybody that wants to do their own art. I think it's a good outlet for people, whether they pursue it professionally or not. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, by all means, join the Discord. Yeah. I think a good point of practice would be sometimes just focusing on one thing at a time. You know, get a bunch of, just do a bunch of close-ups on faces. Practice that. Thank you for the follow, Stand Dancer. I've said before, this one makes me think of Bram Stoker's Dracula a lot. This tune, I mean. It's not actually, but it does sound kind of like that too. Oh yeah. What kind of drawing classes were you looking at? Oh, okay. Well, you might, as a start, you might find, you know, not through a community college, but just like community center art classes and stuff. Like a lot of times they have kind of evening courses and stuff, just like a once a week kind of thing. It'd be more casual, but you'd be getting a bit of hands-on guidance. Cool. Where is it that you you hail from, Stanton? I and at least some of the chat are from Vancouver, Canada. Hairy arms, not monkey level hairy, but some hair on his arms nonetheless. Hairy shoulders. Is he bad or chip? What did you think of Freddy vs. Jason, Parker? I don't know if that's ever come up with you around before. We were talking about it earlier, but I don't think you'd come on yet. Decide how I wanted to ink the tire at first, but we'll go a little heavy on it. Who's seen Red's Dream, Pixar short? Actually, all you VFS grads should have seen it because I've been showing it to my class every term since I started teaching classical animation. So, Billy, Parker, and any other VFS people are not allowed to say no to that question. If you've seen the Pixar short Red's Dream. For some people, there is no wrong answer to this. For you, JC, there is a wrong answer. Thank you for the follow. Ops didn't mean to. Yes, you have, JC. And you definitely have as well, Parker, but I don't know if you're trolling me or not. Well, practice makes perfect. Oops. Are you also an artist? Or an aspiring artist, if you're reluctant to use the term yet? You just sketching? Okay. How about you? Are you in school for it? Okay. Well, welcome to the outhouse. Feel free to join the Discord that's in the About section there. Other fellow artists share their art as well. Take a look at some of your stuff. Red is a unicycle, yes. Let's hear it, JC. I think that's actually surprisingly common. Did you just started writing it recently? Do you want to tell us about it? By the way, JC, I was reminded that I still haven't read some of that stuff you posted. I was just too into combat fairies at the time. And I am determined to read it all, though. Anything else you want to send me? I just need a bit to, I'm still catching up on a few things since I finished everything up. I'm kind of catching my breath a little bit as well. But I do fully intend to read it all, and I will. This I vow. Okay. Okay. Okay, I already know what you thought of it more or less from your comment on the Discord. But usually when you say it was something, I feel like you're speaking pretty well of it. But I don't think you are this time. So I'm going on Saturday. I've heard it was fun. I've heard it was like, you know, not necessarily amazing, but it was an entertaining couple hours, and it was. Yeah, I'll take that. Especially from DC of late, they're kind of getting their footing back, but have natural skepticism with everything with them right now. Okay. Well, we'll find out. What kind of stuff do you like to draw, by the way? Oops, didn't mean to. I think this is the first time I read that entirely in order. Oops, didn't mean to follow. I like that. It's clever. I know of him because of an episode of the Superman animated series in the 90s. But it always kind of, that episode always bugged me because they never give you any explanation for who he is, and they kind of allude to this elaborate backstory, but they never fill you in on it, and I didn't know him from the comics. And I always thought that was really weird. It just sort of, because it was sort of almost like this comeback story, but you didn't really have any, like, reverence for whether or not he came back, because you didn't really know who he was. It was a weird, cause it was a pretty strong show overall, but that was a weird choice. He's also really prominent in Suicide Squad Hell and Back, the animated movie, which is pretty fun, by the way. And his character is pretty interesting in that, but I don't want to give that away. I think he kind of is like a Doctor Strange, yeah. I honestly would have probably guessed about that much anyway as well, JC, just because I can't imagine any one character even has that much screen time to really be developed. Or do you mean not flat as in lack of character development? You mean flat as in just boring and not entertaining? Armpit hair. You need armpit hair. Oh, okay, fair enough. Thank you for the follow, Alonzo. Is this storyboarding class, Alonzo? I think that's probably exactly what it is. Well, I'll report back when I see it. Nice to see you too, Alonzo. Actually, almost finished here. We're gonna move on to the spot blacks in a couple minutes. Gonna throw in a scribble shadow here. Is that when was that when The Rock first announced it? Crazy it's been that long. Thank you for the follow, Mundo Abstracto. Okay, so you gave him a couple years before you started getting excited. Well, before We can dish on it in a couple days, JC. By the way, if any of these new followers we're getting here are anybody that I know personally, maybe from the school or something, don't be afraid to say so in the chat. But if you're not, well, welcome and still say hi in the chat.